Alright, hello. Today I'm, oh. Hello, I'm gonna be waiting a little longer until a few more people join, but I'm just gonna be showing off some of my fishing gear that I have and just going through a bit of what I got. So I guess I can just show you what I have. So these are my rods, those are a few of them. I have a little cart for them. I have a small tackle box, I have some lures and weights. I have all my line, I have a few baits, I have like a few upcoming lures that I'm going to use. I also have a crawdad trap, some crab nets, and a few other tackle boxes. So these are my main tackle boxes I use. I have these two, so this one right here. This is kind of like my bass slash crappie tackle box. So you can see I have a lot of small little lures for the crappie. And I have some slightly bigger ones for all the bass, you know. Gotta go after those bass out here. So I guess I'll go over some of that. Some of my favorite lures out of this little batch, I guess you can say here, is this frog lure. It's a topwater frog. It floats on the surface. I've gotten a lot of reaction bites out of it, and it's just really good. I also have these two little shrimp baits. They're kind of like little fake shrimp. You pull them along the bottom, and they imitate shrimp pretty much, and that's out for the ocean that you use them. I also have a few spinners that I use right here. You can see one of which I've actually made myself. I have a few hair jigs, and then I have a few flukes for the bass here, as you can see. Nothing too crazy. Alright, so I'll move that to the side. This right here is more of like my gear, I would say, not really my lures. This right here is like all my weights, all my bobbers. Some of my smallest weights are like these tiny little bead weights that move up and down the line, and some of my bigger ones are like these really big weights right here. These are for like ocean fishing, possibly like sea bass fishing. As you can see, this one right here is really big, 6 ounces. And then I have a snagging hook right here. Oh, have the snagging hook. It's used to snag bait fish. So if you can't actually catch any bait fish, you can snag them. Anyways, I have another tackle box here, which is dedicated to all my topwater lures. So all my hard baits. I have a few crankbaits. These are my lipless. So I've used all of which and I've caught fish with. So the first row is my lipless crankbaits. This row, I have a topwater popper, which is pretty cool. This thing I've caught a few fish on. And then I have my lipped crankbaits right there. I have 2 jerk baits that work pretty good. And I have a homemade one I made last year, which I'll probably make a video on. And then for my last tackle box, right here, this is kind of like my extra tackle box. I have some random lures like this topwater frog. I have a bunch of spinners. I have a bunch of glossy, fake, almost like trout and bass lures. These right here, which I'll go into, these are what I use for these big worms right here, for these fake, gulp swimmers, whatever you want to call them. And right here, I also have a really big hairtail jig. So this is really nice for using in the ocean and stuff like that. I'm gonna just check up. Let's see. Oh, 5 lights and 2 lures. Oh wow, that's a lot of people. Anyway, so I mean, I guess I can just sit here and talk for a bit. Yeah. So I guess I can show off a few other things. No one's really watching right now. These are my crab pots. I have 2 of them. I would get them down and show them off a bit more, but my arm is a bit hurt, so I can't. But I pretty much use those off the pier and just to catch some crabs, some rock crab and spider crab for fun. I have a bait bucket right here. I have some smaller crab pots and a crawdad trap. And I have my rods right here. This brown rod right here is used for ocean. It's my medium light tackle rod. So really good for the ocean. This is my medium heavy rod. My medium heavy ocean rod, the white one. Pretty good for surf fishing out in the ocean. But a bit heavier tackle. And this rod right here, this red and black one, which I haven't used in a really long time, is used for tuna fishing. And it's used for offshore big deep sea fish, which I have yet to go fishing for, but hopefully I will this summer. I also have another really heavy offshore rod right here. It's a bait cast rod. I could also use it in like just the surf, but I typically don't. I have a few busted reels right here, like this red one. It's busted. I need to fix it. I have an empty rod right here, like this one doesn't have anything on it. This one right here is a medium light rod. It's a foldable, so I can take it wherever. And this one is kind of dinky and needs fixing. And then I have a really heavy rod right here. This one was passed down from my grandpa, and he used it for shark fishing offshore. So yeah. And then these are a few other rods. These are the 2 I take the most with me. This one's a medium light rod. I have some big sidikis on it, so I have a hairtail jig. I have sidikis, some larger ones, I guess you could say. And this other rod, I have a bunch of miniature sidikis, if you can see right there. Really small, but really good for catching those bait fish. And then I have a pretty heavy rod. You couldn't really tell, but it's my first rod that I've used braid. I don't know if you can tell on there. It's 8-strand braid, 20 pounds, or 40 pounds, I guess. And this is the bait I've got for it. This will pretty much be for some bigger fish, like rockfish, cabezon, possibly some halibut, and like, so yeah, it's pretty good, I guess. I guess I could show off some tackle too. So I showed off all those. Those are my main. I have a few backpacks here. This is probably my most used one. It's a really easy travel bag. I actually have an extra lure box in here. This consists of all my big soft plastics. So you can see here, I have all sorts of different colors of Senkos. I have a yellow and brown one. I have a watermelon color. I have green. I have really light green. I have blue. I have pink. I have tons of colors. I have this really cool, I don't actually know what this is, like a creature bait, I would say, you know? Something cool like that. I have a few trout lures in there. I have some smaller, probably jigging lures in here. Have a few weights. Have a few head weights for the for some of the baits in here. I have a creature bait right here, really cool, really detailed. I have a swim bait right here, kind of messed up and beaten up, but you can somewhat see it. I have a few dinky flukes I could probably throw away, and a few creature craws right here that work really good. And then I have some really nice Berkeley crazy shad right here. Really flexible. These are what catch me on my fish. I've got some clear Senkos. I've also got a few of these creature baits in there. If you want to see, I'll take these out. I have this creature bait. I have this one on a blue, really cool. That'll go after some big bass with. So I have this one on a jig head. So pretty cool. I really like it. I have a few more creature baits in here. You know, I have these creature baits, and I also have these swim baits. These kind of small swim baits that are really good. I have a ton, and when I say a ton, I mean a ton. I have a ton of these robo worms right here. So you see, I have all these right here that work really good. I forgot it's a bass. And I also have my Ned rigs right here, which are like kind of beat up lures. Kind of my beat up Ned rigs and my lures. Those also catch some bass. So yeah, those are just all my lures. And like I said, this is one of my main backpacks I take. Has all my fishing essentials in it. If I want a bit more heavy duty, I have this bag too, which has a bunch of compartments and pockets that I can use it for. I used to have a gray backpack that was kind of really old, and I ended up not really using it. Anyways, though, I have a ton of line here. You can see I use this 8-strand for the braid. I have some 30-pound, I have some 20-pound new spool, I have some 10-pound, and I also have a 6-pound and even a 2-pound line laying somewhere around here. Like I said, I have these big swim baits. I have this topwater plopper, really cool. Hoping I can use it. And I also have this pretty cool sardine lure, really cool, pretty big. And yeah, so that's kind of like all my stuff, I guess. I will take you guys upstairs. I will have to hold the phone down for now because I don't want a house tour, so you guys don't really get to see anything. I'll just kind of cover the phone, but don't worry, I'm here. I just don't really want my location to be exposed at all, is what I'm trying to say. Right. All right. This right here, this is my upcoming video. I've already posted about it. It's a lure tournament. So I have all of my favorite lures that I use on like a daily basis. And I have them all up in a tournament style bracket. And so they'll each be going against each other and trying to see which lure is the best. So I have like, I guess an example is I have this lure right here against this one. And so pretty much if one of them catches a fish, so they'll each have an hour to be fished with each one. The first fish that I will catch, like say for this one, I catch fish, it's 2 pounds, I'm done fishing with it. I move on and start fishing with this one. And if I catch like a 3-pound fish, since this one caught the bigger fish, this one will be knocked out and we'll have to go back in the tournament and we'll pretty much be eliminated. But if one of the lures doesn't catch any fish, then it will be automatically disqualified, no matter how big or small the other lure is. So right here, I have this 10-piece trout swim bait. Really wiggly. It has a lot of motion in the water. I like to swim this one, like, when the bass aren't, or, like, really. This is like a summertime bait. It's really for reaction timing. I can work it pretty fast. This will get, like, bigger bass that are almost going for bigger bait. This creature craw right here, excuse me, this creature craw right here, I use almost slow moving, so kind of slow moving through the water. I like to put a head weight on it, and this is for the reaction bite, and I use that in colder months when I can't get any fish. This spinner bait right here, I use in murky conditions when the fish can't really see. It's very light colored. It's very flashy. That also gets a reaction bite. The Senko worm is really good. It's one of my favorite lures. It's one of the best lures out there. I say it's really good, but however, if you're fishing in deep water, it is good because the best presentation is when it moves around a lot. And you want a lot of natural, like you see how it kind of wiggles with just a bit of, you see how it wiggles? The bass really like that. However, when it's dropping in the water, it slowly descends, which isn't really good for deeper water. I have a nice little crankbait right here. It imitates bluegill, so the bass really like that. I have a minnow, like I showed earlier, and I have one of the robo worms. And so I actually got this over here. This is new that I ordered on Amazon, is this imitation crawdad. So if you want to take a look at this, this is super cool. It's like bigger than my finger. Well, I should say smaller than my finger. It's the size of my finger. Anyways, though, it has really fluid movement, if you want to see there. So it imitates a crawdad, which bass love to eat. So you just kind of put it on a hook and hope that the bass eat it. Then on this side, I have a micro shad swim bait, which it's like a really small version of a bait fish. So you see it's got a little bit of action. This tail, it vibrates super fast in tiny little motions, which mimics bait fish. So the bass really love that one. I have a spoon right here, which is really flashy and silvery and gets the bass to bite, like I said, in murky conditions. This is a chatterbait right here. It's super cool. It's got a lot to it. When you're bringing it in the water, this part in front of it is pretty much going back and forth and hitting itself. And I don't know if you can hear that. It makes, here. You hear that? It makes a lot of noise and reflects light and gets the bass's attention. One of the newer lures I ordered is this right here, which is a Raptor. It's a Raptor swim bait. One of the best lures you can ever get on the market. Cost me $20 for this tiny thing. But I'm yet to use it because I want to save it till the tournament. But I've heard that state records have been caught on this little bait. And you see right here, I have an extra tail for it in case that falls out. I even bought the attachment. I also just got this. It's new. I haven't used it yet. It's a Whopper Plopper. This is really cool because it's a topwater. So it stays on the top of the water and it moves. And what happens is this little tail thing right here, this little clear thing, as it's moving in the water, it's chopping. So it's spinning and creating a lot of noise. And so it's pretty much spinning in almost like a helicopter. So you see it spins and it attracts the bass. Right here, I have a hula plopper. This is very antique and it's very hard to find any more of these. This is also a topwater, and you pretty much pull it and you jerk it. And when you do that, it creates a lot of commotion on the top of the water, which the bass love. I have a topwater frog right here. These are really cool because you can pull them along weeds. And the reason why you can pull them on top of weeds is because these hooks aren't exposed. So I can run my finger over them. However, when the bass eat it, they bite down. And when they bite down, the hooks are exposed. So that, I think, is really cool. And then I also just have a regular jerkbait in there. Don't really use jerkbaits as much. They're topwater, but I've heard they're pretty good. I just don't really use them. And then this right here is actually belonged to my grandpa. It's a pike lure. So we don't have pike in California. They're really big fish. I could probably use this offshore fishing. So like tuna fishing, stuff for that. But like this lure is pretty much useless to me because I don't do fishing like that. I don't fish for big fish. So that lure is pretty much useless in a sense. I don't want to show any more about my life or where I am. So, you guys kind of have to go dark now. Alright, I'll bring you back out here. I wanted to show you, the way I get to a lot of the local fishing spots is using this. Here, I'll take this off. It's this electric bike. It's in pieces right now because not too long ago I crashed it. And I have to fix the front spokes here, as you can see. I have to fix this wheel, and attach it. But anyways, this is how I get around and kind of get to all my spots. I have a few boots here. I use these for like any shallow water, if I want to get in. This box right here, which I'm not going to open because I only have one good arm, is waders. So what I use those for is to get in the water, like at the beach. I'll use those to get in the water, and it's pretty cool. I also have these two sheets right here, which are the California coast fish. So this is all saltwater fish. This sheet right here is the California coast rockfish. So this is dedicated to all the rockfish in California, and there's a lot. So a lot of these species here I've actually caught before, like the gopher rockfish, the yellow eye rockfish, which I actually have a video about that. I have caught I've caught a cow cod, I've caught a black and yellow rockfish, I've caught a China rockfish, I've caught a quillback rockfish, I've caught a copper rockfish. I believe I've caught a yellowtail rockfish. I'm not exactly sure. We can go to the backside. I've caught an olive rockfish. I've caught blue rockfish. I've caught kelp rockfish. I have caught grass rockfish. I've caught calico rockfish. I've caught a California scorpion fish, which are actually venomous and could possibly kill you. I have caught a cabezon, and I'm yet to catch a lingcod. So those are pretty much all the kind of rockfish stuff. This right here is actually the California coast sport fish. So this is like all the sport fish that people fish offshore for. So the people fly out of state just to catch these fish. So you see there's striped marlin, blue marlin, and swordfish, which I've never caught. There's California yellowtail, dolphin fish. There's Pacific barracuda, wahoo, really good. Big eye tuna, rainbow runner, yellowtail tuna, bluefin tuna, Pacific bonito, and skipjack tuna, as well as albacore. So pretty much everything on that list right here is like super deep sea, and I've never caught. However, on this list, there are a few things I have caught. So Pacific halibut, which is a really big halibut that I plan to go after summer, is what I'm going to go after. I've never caught one before. However, I have caught California halibut. I've also caught in kelp bass, also known as calico bass. I've caught in spot fin croaker. I've caught in yellowfin croaker. I've caught striped sea bass, which isn't on here. I've caught Sierra mackerel, which I wish I knew at the time are really good eating. I've caught opali, I've caught red-tailed surf perch, I've caught barred surf perch, and I've caught rubber lip surf perch. I have also caught pompano. I've never caught roosterfish. I've never caught bull shark, and I've never caught thresher shark. I've also never caught mako or a leopard shark. But yeah, so those are kind of like some of the fish, the local fish here. Some of the more, like, fish that I do go after is trout, bass, catfish, stuff like that. So most of my rods aren't really for any big fish, but per se. However, this summer I have a trip planned in Morro Bay, which I will be doing a lot of fishing at some great spots. I don't want to give too much away. However, I will say I might be going after some tuna. So that'll be a video coming up in the making. So yeah, anyways, those are pretty much, that's on my lure, that's on my tackle, that's pretty much everything I hope for. So anyways, if you enjoy this, go check out my channel, give a little like or a thumbs up or subscribe. It's up to you. And thanks for watching.